This wasn't a storm. Cold air hit the Great Lakes, and lake effect snow shut everything down. Winter does not strike the United States evenly. Some storms sweep across entire regions, but others focus their power with brutal precision. Across the northern United States, one of the most dangerous winter threats comes from the Great Lakes themselves. Communities surrounding Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario live in what meteorologists call the snow belt. Parts of Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and New York are repeatedly exposed to sudden, extreme snowfall when Arctic air moves south over these vast bodies of water. During this event, the impact centered on upstate New York, one of the most vulnerable lake effect regions in the country. Areas east of Lake Erie and downwind of Lake Ontario saw conditions deteriorate rapidly. While much of the nation experienced ordinary winter weather, this region faced something far more intense. This was not a typical winter storm. This was lake effect snow. Lake effect snow forms when bitterly cold Arctic air crosses the relatively warm waters of the Great Lakes. The air absorbs heat and moisture from the surface. As it reaches land, that moisture rises rapidly, forming narrow but powerful snow bands capable of producing extreme snowfall in a very short time. Unlike large-scale storms that spread snow evenly, lake effect systems are highly localized. One town may be buried, while another just a few miles away remains mostly untouched. This sharp contrast makes lake effect snow especially dangerous for travelers and emergency planners.
We travel to the east.
In this storm, the atmospheric ingredients aligned almost perfectly. Strong Arctic air surged into the region while lake temperatures remained warm enough to fuel rapid cloud development. Meteorologists warned that intense, slow-moving snow bands were likely, and those warnings quickly became reality. Snow began falling at rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, sometimes faster. These bands did not move quickly. They stalled over the same areas, dumping snow continuously. Roads that were clear minutes earlier disappeared under fresh accumulation. Visibility dropped from miles to nearly zero without warning. In the hardest-hit snowbelt zones of upstate New York, totals climbed toward 2 to 3 feet in a short period of time. But accumulation alone does not explain the danger. The true threat was how fast conditions changed. Winds played a critical role. Gusts exceeding 50 miles per hour turned falling snow into blinding ground blizzards. Snow was lifted off open fields and roadways, reducing visibility even when snowfall briefly eased. Plow crews struggled as drifting snow refilled cleared lanes almost immediately. Highways became hazards. Major routes across upstate New York transformed into unpredictable corridors of ice, slush, and blowing snow. Lake effect snow offers no gradual transition. One stretch of road may be clear. The next may be a complete whiteout. Drivers had little time to react. Vehicles lost traction suddenly. Cars spun out on ice hidden beneath fresh snow. Tractor trailers jackknifed as crosswinds and slick pavement overwhelmed control. Minor crashes quickly blocked lanes, trapping traffic and creating long backups. Emergency services were pushed to their limits. Snowplows operated around the clock, battling snowfall rates that outpaced clearing efforts. First responders navigated near-zero visibility to reach stranded motorists. Tow trucks struggled to access crash sites buried under deep drifts. State officials acted as conditions worsened. Travel advisories were issued, and commercial vehicle restrictions were placed on key highways to reduce the risk of large-scale accidents. Despite these measures, many drivers were already caught inside the snowbands with no safe exit. For those on the road, conditions changed minute by minute. Clear skies gave way to sudden whiteouts. Bare pavement turned to black ice. Traffic slowed to a crawl, then stopped entirely. Some motorists abandoned their vehicles, choosing to walk through deep snow rather than remain trapped. Lake effect snow does not respect routines or schedules. Families were delayed, essential workers were stranded, and supply chains slowed as transportation routes closed repeatedly. Entire communities were temporarily cut off as secondary roads disappeared beneath drifting snow. Unlike large winter systems that weaken as they move east, lake effect snow can persist. As long as cold air continues to flow across open water, snow bands can regenerate again and again. Meteorologists warned that this event could last for days, not hours. Each brief improvement in conditions proved misleading. Snow bands returned with little notice. Roads reopened only to close again. Crews cleared snow only to lose ground minutes later. This storm demonstrated the true nature of lake effect snow. It is fast, it is localized, and it is unforgiving. Lake effect snow can shut down a region faster than almost any other winter weather phenomenon. It creates extreme danger without the widespread warning signs people expect from major storms. Radar coverage may appear limited, but within those narrow bands, conditions rival the most severe blizzards. Emergency officials repeated the same message throughout the event. If you do not have to travel, stay off the roads. Every stranded vehicle diverts resources. Every rescue places responders at risk. In lake effect events, prevention saves more lives than reaction. This storm reshaped more than the landscape. It reinforced a reality long known across America's snowbelt. The Great Lakes are not passive features on a map. They are powerful engines capable of producing sudden, extreme winter weather. Lake effect snow often begins quietly, almost deceptively calm. But when the atmosphere aligns, it becomes overwhelming, relentless, unpredictable, dangerous. And when the lakes release their full force, survival depends on respect for the weather, respect for warnings, and the wisdom to stay out of its path. This wasn't a storm. Cold air hit the Great Lakes, and lake effect snow shut everything down.